Hey guys, it's January the 6th, pretty early in the morning. We were supposed to be heading out to go to the Hive Life Conference this morning, but our bees decided to keep us here a little while longer. We got to checking on them yesterday, and they've gone through the sugar bricks we put on them. They're raising brood because I'm assuming the exceptionally warm fall we've had. There's no pollen in the combs at all, so we're going to put some more sugar blocks on these colonies. It's still a little chilly out for, you know, to be feeding syrup, so we're going to put some more sugar blocks on and go that route. We're also going to put the pollen patties on just to help them rear what brood they've got. I don't like putting pollen supplement on in the first weeks of January, but without any pollen, it'll really help them be able to raise the brood that they've got. Now, we may end up having to keep it on them until the natural pollen gets here, and if we do, that's fine too. But that's what we're out doing. We thought we'd bring you along and show you before we head out to the Hive Life Conference this evening. We wanted to be headed out already, but our bees come first, so we're out here taking care of them. As you can see, they've ate through all this sugar block, and this is really only about 4.5 frames of bees, and they still got some sugar syrup, but they're going through it, so we're going to make sure they've got some carbohydrates on them, and then we'll, like I said, they don't have any pollen in the combs, and they have started rearing some brood, so we're going to give them some pollen too. Keep in mind, when you add some pollen supplement to a colony, it needs to be directly over the brood this time of year, and the sugar syrup or the sugar blocks need to be directly over top of the cluster where they can access it. It won't do them any good if it's over here or over here in the clusters over here, because a lot of times they won't be able to move to it. More of the same here. We are going to give these a block of sugar over the top of them, just to keep them in sugar.
watering room.
As you can see, this cluster here, it's a good sized cluster, but there's not a lot of food in here. And we fed these colonies a lot. There's a little bit of honey still, or sugar syrup rather, in there, but we fed these colonies a lot. But we run singles through the winter time, and you have to be really careful with singles, because when they start raising brood, especially this early, they will flat out starve to death. There's no way that this colony, if we don't keep feeding them and keeping sugar syrup on them, will be alive in March. It just won't happen. They'll starve to death. But that's the way it goes. Sometimes with these warm falls and moderate winters we have, they start rearing brood early, and you have to stay on top of it or they'll run out of feed. And it's a whole lot easier to feed them than it is to just let them die. Now, another thing you got to be mindful of with us giving them pollen supplement this early, it'll help them rear that brood, but they may continue to rear brood if they're so inclined to do so. And if they are, we're going to have to keep it on them, because our first pollen is usually the red maples, and sometimes it'll bloom about the end of January, but sometimes it's later on into February before it starts blooming. So just be mindful of it and keep checking your bees. I know it's cold out, but no longer we're in here, it's better to feed them than to let them starve. Same with this, you know, another large cluster. As you can see, they're not real happy to see us, but another large cluster, but no food. Now they've got 2 or 3 frames of sugar syrup in this colony, but that won't last maybe 3 weeks the way they're starting to brood up. So we're gonna have to keep a real close check on these. Hopefully we can get a warm spell and we can come out here and drop some buckets of syrup on them, but you know, it's still gonna be pretty chilly for us the next week or so, so dry sugar is gonna be our best option. And we are using Ultra B, that's our preferred pollen supplement. I would like to try Nutra B. A lot of people like it pretty good, but I hadn't been able to source it locally, so I think it's more of a Canadian and a West Coast thing. So if anybody knows where to source some Nutra B and get it shipped, leave that in the comments below. By the way, these bees here are some queens we got from Bob Benny back in the spring. And they're doing pretty good for us, so we wanted to try them. They're a Caucasian Carniolan mix. I just basically wanted to see how they would do in our location. I've only ever had Italians before, so this is new to us.
Any more?
Oh. Why has it got ice on it?
I got this bucket.
Got it. Well, we finally got the bees taken care of, got up to Sevierville. Now we're at the Texas Roadhouse getting ready to eat some supper, but waiting on the Hive Life Conference in the morning. There's the queen bee to the right, so we're gonna get off here and go eat, but hope to see you guys at the Hive Life Conference if you're there. If you're coming, how about leaving a comment below and letting us know. We'd love to meet you guys. Drive safe.